We're gonna take a little walk.
With the boogeyman. I'm scared.
There's nothing to be scared of.
Are you sure? How?
I killed him.
You can't kill the boogeyman.
Happy Halloween, everybody, and welcome to Bencher Movie Club. No.
How'd you do, I?
Welcome to Bencher Movie Club. My name is Ben.
I'm Charlie.
And today, on Halloween, it's only appropriate, I think, really, that we talk about the original 1978 movie Halloween.
Written and directed by John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Directed by Deborah Hill.
Starring Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Donald Pleasence.
So Jamie Lee Curtis from Trading Places.
Fish Called Wonder.
True Lies.
My Girl 2.
She was in My Girl.
Well, she's in My Girl as well, is she?
I don't think she's in.
Have I just skipped her straight to My Girl 2?
You don't
I know.
like her?
No, I do. I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Fish Called Wonder.
Fish Called Wonder. I said that, didn't I?
Yeah.
I did say Fish Called Wonder. Well, she's been in loads of great films. There's also PJ Souls in this film.
From Carrie.
From the film Carrie.
Oh, I like her. I think she's really cute, and she's always like this fun character. It's a shame she didn't do more.
Yeah.
She was actually dating Dennis Quaid at the time. Originally, they was going to get Dennis Quaid to play her boyfriend in it. No, Bob, the guy with the glasses.
Why didn't they then?
He wasn't available.
Oh,
but he was up for doing it, so that would have been nice. I think
they was married. They was married. He married her.
Right.
PJ
They were
Souls.
both
They did
very
get
young.
married.
But
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
were
at
very
the
young.
time, they were sort of both starting out, but both hot property. And that would have been great for because I like Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
It's a shame he was huge in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then
he just disappeared.
And then he just.
He married Meg Ryan, and I think Meg Ryan overtook her career, went so big.
And then she cheated on him with Russell Crowe.
Yeah, but I think even though her career went really big, it sort of just didn't seem to sort of go in the direction it should have gone, because he was in that Enemy Mine. I remember that Enemy Mine.
Yeah,
it was a really good
Louis
film.
Gossett Jr.
I remember that was a good film from years ago.
Inner Space.
Inner Space. That's where he met Meg Ryan, I believe.
Yeah, and Martin Short's in that.
And they've also got a son who is one of the main characters in The Boys.
That's right.
He plays. Who's it in The Boys? He's like the.
Huey.
Yeah, the comic book guy, comic style book guy. But you can see he's a good cross between his mum and dad.
Mm.
But anyway, yeah. So
But Dennis Quaid is actually he's a little bit of a resurgence. He's actually in quite a few films now. He's been in quite a few. He's coming back. Whereas Meg Ryan,
she disappeared. Yeah, brilliant. I loved Meg Ryan. I really did. In the
anyway,
in the
back
90s.
to Halloween.
Back to Halloween. Anyway, yeah. So
Meg
PJ Souls.
Ryan.
I know. PJ Souls we were talking about, weren't we?
Because she was with Dennis Quaid.
That's right. So PJ Souls. She was also in, was it Rock and Roll High School or something like that?
Don't know. What about the third girl?
The third girl, the one who played Annie.
Yeah.
Oh, don't know.
The original choice for Laurie, for Jamie Lee Curtis's role,
Yes.
was actually an up-and-coming actress, Anne Lockhart.
Right.
She was hot property, and they was like, we've got to get her. And she turned it down.
Well, I bet she's gutted about that, because...
Well, have you heard her name?
I've never heard of her name.
No. She was an extra in E.T., Risky Business. She done additional voices on Little Mermaid.
How gutted would you be? Because this made Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis, I'm glad that she did turn it down, because maybe we wouldn't have had her in Trading Places, in Fish Called Wonder,
True Lies.
So, yeah, we wouldn't have had her in all these films. Yeah. And I loved Jamie Lee Curtis. And she's
My Girl 2.
My Girl 2. Is she My Girl 1 as well then?
Yeah, I haven't,
is she? I
haven't seen My Girl 2.
So I'm assuming straight for number 2. I knew she was in number 2. So I don't know.
Why would you know? Have you seen part 2?
No, I don't know. Have I? I must have done. Oh, I can't remember. It's
I
a
like
long
the first
time
one.
ago.
I didn't bother with the
I can't
second
remember.
one.
I can't remember really.
This time she's kissing her cousin. That's what it's tagline.
What?
Yeah, look it up.
The tagline for part 2 is this time he's kissing her cousin.
Yeah, this time
It's
they're
like a
kissing
hillbilly
cousin
film or something. Famously, this cost $300,000 to make, and the latest figure is 159 million. Is what it's the return has been. So a fantastic return, really. You know. Yeah. There was 2 masks that were made for this: a Don Post Emmett Kelly smiling clown mask, which they added red frizzy hair to. But when they'd done some tests on it, when they'd done some screen tests on it, it looked too demented and creepy. So then they went with their second choice, which was a 1975 Captain T. Kirk mask, that cost them $1.98.
William Shatner.
Yep. And it had the eyebrows and the sideburns ripped off. They painted the face white. They spray painted the hair brown, and they slightly enlarged the eye holes. And when they shot that, they went, "That's perfect," because it shows him more as being a lot more creepy and emotionless. So it was a lot more effective for the screen, which is fantastic. I mean, it is a fantastic mask. Because I think a lot of time people will try and go over the top with stuff like this. You wouldn't look at something and go, "Right, what can we make as a scary mask?" You would have thought that the killer clown looking one would be the scarier. But thank God they went with this one.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It's iconic.
It's
really
brilliant.
Iconic.
Fantastic. And it's like, you couldn't have made that. And the thing is, that I love the story behind it. The fact that it was someone's been sent out to go and buy these couple of horror masks, and he's come back with them, and what they created with that.
Yeah.
That is so iconic.
Just make what you can with it.
That was fantastic. It was like, and it was really creepy. I don't think any scary mask would have been as scary as that, because it is emotionless. And it's white, and it's just that kind of, that look of just vacant look on his face. It's brilliant mask. Did you also know that it was originally called The Babysitter Murders?
Yeah.
Oh, you knew that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And Donald Pleasence was paid $20 per... No. I've got that
We'll get him.
I was going to say, he got paid $20 for 5 days' work. No, he got paid $20,000 for 5 days' work.
But he wasn't the first choice.
Okay, he was cheap, wasn't he? $20, yeah, what was the first choice?
Peter Cushing.
That's right, yeah, I read that.
And then they went after Christopher Lee. But Peter Cushing was too hot off the back of Star Wars. He'd just done Star Wars. So he was really hot on that. And Christopher Lee turned it down, but years later he'd say it was his biggest mistake.
Yeah, so a lot of people wouldn't have had faith in this film, probably.
No. But to play that role of Loomis, which is an iconic... Christopher Lee's movie icon anyway. Yeah. But of course you always want that one more, and you think, oh, what a great role Donald Pleasence got to play. I could have done that, being the paranoid doctor, which Donald Pleasence I think is perfect in this. Of course he's known from Great Escape.
Oh right, yeah, okay, yeah.
And also James Bond films where he plays Blofeld. Yeah.
No, it's a good cast. I mean, it is a little bit sort of like the acting could be a bit ropey here and there, but you know what? I don't think any of it takes it away from the film. I went through a phase. I loved it when I was younger. I absolutely loved it. Thought it was so scary. It was the perfect horror film as far as I was concerned. When I revisited it as years went on, I used to look and think, oh, the acting's really shit and so over the top. You know what? I've completely gone over that now. Because the thing is, I appreciate. The thing is, I just appreciate it for what it is, and it doesn't matter. Okay, they ain't got to be bloody Oscar-winning actresses and stuff like that. But I think they do a pretty good job.
Well, the worst actors are the kids.
No, I don't think the kids are that bad. The girl ain't that bad. The little girl ain't that bad.
Freaky hair, whatever call him, and all of a sudden they stop.
No, I don't think the little girl's that bad though. That's Lindsay Willis is okay. And even Tommy Ross, I don't think. Is it not Tommy Ross?
It's
Tommy
the
Ross
boogeyman. No, believe me.
No, okay, no, okay, yeah, well, no, but I'm thinking of the girls. I remember looking at the girls, thinking, oh, it's a bit bad.
She laughs, doesn't she? She corpses Jamie Lee Curtis when she's looking back and she walks into the detective. You can see she's smiling. Yeah. She goes, ah! She screams. Yeah.
She hated her. She thought that she was never going to act again. When she said she was really disappointed with her performance, but he goes, it's brilliant. You've done a good job. And realistically, I don't. At the end of the day, look at the profits of it. That shows you that it's still classic today. We're talking like that is bloody 44 years ago. This was made. It's held up pretty well. It's a fantastic storyline. I love the thought of the babysitter thing, and I love the way it's shot. I love the houses that it's shot in. I love the whole era. I love the decade that it's shot in, because the 70s had this right horror kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, and I like it's set in Illinois, in Chicago, Illinois, so that is a completely different environment to California, where it was actually shot. Yeah, it was set in Illinois, and it was autumn in Illinois. It's all like leaves falling down and stuff. But if you watch the film, you can see in the distance the palm tree. Yeah. And also they had to blow leaves onto the set.
That's to collect loads of dead leaves.
They had loads of these people throwing. Yeah. And do you know one of the people throwing?
I was about to say that. Don't know. Let me say it. Because I've got it written down. My next name. Oh, you wanker! You wanker! I've got it written here. Robert England had to throw dead leaves on set for one day. You had to kill that, didn't you? You had to piss on my parade. I had that written down. That was the next thing I was going to say.
Yeah, sure you did.
Look. That was my number 4 thing there.
For everyone's...
No, Robert England.
For
and
the
that's
listeners...
That he has
for nothing written down. He's pointing...
Listen, no, for one day, he had to go... He was one of the blokes that they collected bags and bags of leaves so that during the Halloween... Because it was shot in the spring. So it was really bright, all the trees were green. They needed it to look like Halloween, so they had to go and get all these dead leaves and they sprinkled them all around, and then they have to scoop them all up at the end of the day and then reuse them for other parts of the film.
Another thing which sounds a bit weird, I really like the aspect ratio in this. The widescreen, how wide it is, because it looks, even though it's a really low budget film, it looks so cinematic because of how wide the screen is.
Yeah,
and you don't really
think even more empty. It's like there's more places for you to look, to think. Well, I think that's what it does. It gives you that kind of. It could be there. It could be there. It could be there. It's like gives you more places to be hiding.
And it inspired like the film I want to make next. I'm thinking I want to do the same ratio. And it looks so artistic. It looks like a canvas.
In that kind of film, it's good.
And also the Panaglide, the Steadicam that they used in this at the time was fairly new, but that was a great coup for them because they'd done that whole opening shot of following the boy, going upstairs, one long shot, killing her, coming back downstairs. And they had to make cuts. They make cuts where the mask comes up and stuff. Whenever it goes black, then they can stop, because you had to use film. Yeah. And film was limited, the amount of time you had. Yeah. But with that Steadicam shot, and you got to think, for the first time, I showed it to someone the other day who'd never seen it. And you don't think about it, but they'd never seen it. And when they go, Michael, and they pull off the mask, and you see it's a little boy, she went, oh my God, it's a little boy. Yeah. It's a little boy. She had no idea. Yeah. And you don't really think about it, because when you know the film like we do, you see it from a young age, you think, oh, yes, it's Michael Myers.
Yeah, it's the murderer.
You know it's
a child.
But you know it's a child when you've watched it the second time. You're like, oh, this is a child. Yeah. But it was nice watching it vicariously through his other person.
Fresh eyes, yeah.
And God, I never thought about that, because it's part of his mythology now.
Talking about the beginning, the actress and Playboy model Sandy Johnson, she played the sister Judith. She hated the fake blood because it would stain her skin, and each time after each shot it had to be scrubbed off between takes, and whoever was scrubbing it off was being really rough with her. It sounds a little bit naughty, really. Yeah. Anyway, in the end, Jamie Lee Curtis took over and done it, and she was a lot more gentle. Yeah. You know what I mean, though?
Thing with the mask.
Yes.
Even though the mask almost came about by accident, there was a deliberate idea they had behind it, which was, there's a film called There's You Sans Visage, which is Eyes Without a Face, from 1960. And it's this creepy French film, which is about a surgeon who causes an accident. He causes his daughter to have an accident, and it screws up her face. It leaves his daughter disfigured, and he goes to extreme lengths to sort of make her better. So what he's doing, he's killing people, removing their face, trying to build her face back. Right. But the mask that she wears in it is all white with wide eye bits. Right. And when you look at it, you go, that does look like Michael Myers, but it looks like a girl Michael Myers. Yeah. And they said...
The vacant look, I think it's quite a scary look.
That's what inspired John Carpenter when he was writing it. Right, he was thinking that. So when he see the William Shatner mask, he was like, that's the one. That looks enough like the thing that inspired me, but different enough that I'm not ripping it off.
Yeah, did you know John Carpenter was inspired by this? When he was at college, they went to an asylum or something for a day. I don't know what kind of days out they used to do back then, but they went there, and he goes, and there was this young boy. He goes, and he had like the devil's eyes. He was staring at him. He goes, he had like evil eyes. Just clocked him, and it scared him. So that's obviously where it sort of started the brainchild for Michael Myers, and it being a child.
Weird. You imagine what happened to that boy. Halloween was shown at UCLA, where 35% of the audience walked out, and many of the students derided it. They was all looking, oh, this ain't a proper film, and they were saying this won't be a classic. And you think how wrong loads of people can be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
35% of the audience.
Yeah. Well, this is mad thing about that. You were just talking about that. Now, you just reminded me of something there, because John Carpenter showed this to an executive before it was finished and before the score was added. Yeah. And she didn't find it scary at all, you know. She was like, this is crap. Anyway, once he finished it and he added the music to it, she lost her mind and she went into a mental asylum or something like that. No, she didn't really know. No, she when she added when she said it again, she was like, fucking, this is a brilliant film.
Yeah.
She's like fist bump the air. Yeah, guy. Yeah, that's it, brother. Yeah, whoa. We gotta hit here.
Car.
Yeah, no. She absolutely loved it though. She absolutely loved it. She was like, it completely changed it because that score does change it. I suppose if you took the music away from anything, a score, especially something like that, where you've got like the long shots and you're thinking something's gonna happen, and you've got the music to go with
simple.
it. He'd recorded the whole soundtrack in 4 days.
I heard this film made 70 million worldwide in its initial release.
Yeah.
Which is great because you think
it cost $300,000 it cost. Yeah. So I mean, they was laughing all the way to the bank.
But the weird thing is, when they showed it on TV, when they was going to show it on TV, they got them back to film extra scenes.
Yeah, that's when they ruined it. That is the problem, because then that's when they added the bits with his sister in it. Yeah. Because if you look, there's people go, oh yeah, there's an extended version. No, they were filmed the same time as part 2 was filmed.
Yeah.
And they was added to it. They brought the characters back, like Linda and Annie. They brought them back for a couple of scenes here and there. But there's the bit where it says sister written on the wall. And it's like they try to then go, I know what we'll do. We'll make it, that's his sister. It does not make sense at all. There is nothing. Listen, the way I look at this, right? There's the parents. They've had their little boy has murdered their oldest daughter. So what they're going to have, another daughter, they're going to give their brand new little baby daughter to some other family that lives in the same fucking town as that. It just doesn't make sense. No. It's really far-fetched and it's a joke. So I hated that thing. I like the fact, as I think we spoke about this before, the fact that she was just a random babysitter. She meant nothing to him.
Because
she was just next.
He tries to kill her in the film.
She was next. Her. It wasn't for no reason. Down. It was just that she was there. Yeah. She was babysitting. And I think that's what it was. Maybe his sister was babysitting him. Yeah. And it's something to do with babysitters and young girls like that, and he just had this thing about him.
Part 1, if they never made a sequel, it would be held in a higher esteem amongst critics.
People chase the money.
Critics and people go, that was a brilliant film, in the same vein of like Carrie or The First Exorcist and stuff. People go, oh, it's a fantastic bit of cinema. But the problem is, as soon as it gets franchised and it turns into sequel after sequel after sequel after sequel, because as I said, there's been like 10.
And I think the sad thing is when they do that to a fantastic film is that each time you make a sequel that doesn't work, you chip a little bit away of the original. Whereas I think if you keep something whole and untouched, like American Werewolf in London, like Carrie, like I was going to say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but they even done that to that. Although I don't think any of them releases was proper.
Or Exorcist had sequels. Didn't they?
Yeah.
2 and 3.
But
and
they weren't really
all the spin-offs and stuff. But the thing is, with the first film, because not many people knew Surge, the second film.
Yeah.
The first film had such a long gap before any sequels came along. It was able to establish itself and be recognised as a classic. Halloween, they greenlit a sequel straight away. Yeah. They made a sequel within a couple of years. Because of the amount of money
it made.
Yeah, they just thought of it like that.
Well, that's doing something for the wrong reasons. Didn't you find that?
This is the thing. If John Carpenter and Deborah Hill said, no, there's never going to be a sequel to this, it would be held in a much higher esteem. But it's the sequels which sort of tell your backstory and oh, he had this, and the remakes with Rob Zombie saying, oh, he was abused by his family.
No.
I prefer the idea that he was a normal kid. Yeah. He was average.
And it was just...
He had nice parents.
It was just wired wrong.
Parents were well off, clearly. Yeah. You could see they've come back for a night out.
And he's just mad. And one day he just turns from being the little loving son and brother to
he just
murder. He just ruins that family in one day.
You could tell this even from the littlest comment when, at the very beginning, with his sisters making out with that bloke, and he goes, are we alone? Oh, Michael's around here somewhere. Yeah. Come on, let's go upstairs.
So it's not like threat.
No.
It wasn't like, oh my God, my little brother is a bit weird and all this. It's like, oh, Michael's here somewhere, like a normal sister-brother kind of relationship.
And she wasn't even like, oh, Michael, that little shit's around here somewhere. Because he's like, oh, trying to excuse it. She was obviously horrible. No, she's
like, Michael's here somewhere.
Michael's here somewhere. Let's go upstairs.
And then when she says, oh, Michael, like...
Michael!
Yeah.
And then he kills her, and that's... but even then, when he says Michael, you've got to think, like as I said, I watched it vicariously through someone else. When they was watching it, they didn't think...
That he was a little
put 2 and 2, because you only heard the name Michael once as a throwaway comment.
Yeah.
They say, oh, Michael's around here somewhere.
Yeah. As an individual film, fantastic film. And I think even, you know what, and I think what it is, when you love something so much, it leaves you wanting more. Like, I think with each sequel, thinking, please just give me something that I don't know what it is I want, but I know that I want that same kind of feeling. I want it to be sort of respectful to the original, and I want to sort of love the same characters. Like with that new lot, the new three that come out, I think people was going, it's now being directed by this one. This one's come back. This one is now involved. This is like, it's the same person playing this and this, and you think, oh my God, that's it. They've finally got a good story, and they're going to ignore all the others. They're going back to the original story, and all it counts is the very first film, and then this. But what they've done, they've looked at them three, and they've gone, right, we're doing a trilogy. It shouldn't have been a trilogy. It should have been one film. And also, well, it is, because that is just sort. It shows straight away it's money making, rather than the people going, I'll come in on this film. I'm doing it as a one-off, and that's it. Once it's done, and we're going to do like, so it'll be Halloween, and then the very last Halloween, Halloween Ends, it would have been, and that would have been one film, and it would have been fantastic if it had just been done right, because the character of Laurie Strode, she's like this sort of like Terminator woman, but then when he's escaped, she's living
Sarah
normally.
Connor, you mean?
Yes, like Sarah Connor, and then then in the third film where he's escaped and he's like living whatever, where he's in the mental hospital the first bit, but then he's escaped and she's living normally in her normal house with her. It just doesn't make sense. It's just like, look, I would have made her that, okay, she's a bit jumpy when she finds out he's escaped, but she got on with her life. It happened at one night. I don't think she would have then put her whole life into this. I mean, a lot of people can argue with the point of that, but you know what? I just think that if they just kept it simple, like just made a really good storyline.
Does her daughter die in the second one?
Her daughter dies in the second one, I believe.
And she's all happy making apple pies in the first one with her granddaughter. Yeah.
And then there's the bit with the young boy in the last one where he sort of overtakes.
He beats up Michael Myers.
It just it's just like you just.
That's
just
what plummeted
silly.
that film. When
it's just silly.
And you know what's disappointing? Because I watched. So there was the new Halloween. It was just called Halloween, and I watched it. I thought, this has promise, because I knew it was part of a trilogy, and I thought, this is quite good, this is getting there, and then you had Halloween Kills, and I thought, okay, he's killing,
yeah.
This is building up.
I thought he was going to kill all the main characters in the second one.
And then the third one...
Apart from her.
And then the third one, I remember going to see the third one in the cinema, and I really loved the opening. Because the opening is, you think Michael Myers there, and then that boy who's babysitting pushes the door, and it kills the kid, and then it cuts into it, and it's like, oh my God, Michael Myers weren't even involved in the first bit, and there was a death, and I felt that was something new and different, and then the opening credits, which I really loved, and then
I just think they're going too far with it.
No, but then after those opening credits, crap.
Yeah.
It was just crap. When they were trying to bring in this new boy with psychic things, it was like, oh my God, they've tried things like this before.
I like to look at it. I would now, in my brain forever, it's Halloween is Halloween. It's just the first one. If ever I sit there and go, oh, let me watch a Halloween film, I won't even sit and go, oh, let me watch number 22, or let me watch Halloween 66, or whatever the bloody how many there are. I don't know. But I would always just think, okay, it's the first in the original is the best one.
There are sequels which are palatable. You think, actually, I don't mind part 2. I don't mind H2O. Yeah. As I said, I don't mind the first 2 of that new Halloween trilogy. I've watched them and think, actually, it's quite entertaining. It's well made.
It should be a classic film. After all these years later, they should have come up with a fantastic script. They had all the cast in place. Yeah. They could have made one film, and it would have been fantastic, because then people would have gone, right, the first and the last are the best out of them films. Where you could have made enough money with just making a really good sequel, and people would have loved it. You would have made enough money with that, but then people would have respected you more. And would have gone, right, okay, this is a fantastic film. You know, they've made a fantastic first, they've finished it perfectly. That's it, you can't go no further with this franchise now because it's done. Anyway, also, I was going to say, Jamie Lee Curtis was paid $8,000 for this film.
Wow.
And John Carpenter wrote the role of Linda for PJ Souls after he see her in the film Carrie.
Yeah, I thought so, because she's very similar in a way.
Similar kind of character.
Similar kind of spunky attitude. It was shot in the spring of 1978 in California.
Yeah. Now you think, so it must have been edited very quickly.
But you think spring in California
was hot,
baking, and there's them walking about with their jumpers and the leaves and stuff.
How do you get all the pumpkins and stuff like that?
So the pumpkin doesn't look real. The pumpkin they use, it almost looks fake anyway.
Yeah, it's probably
big over the top. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure that's what American pumpkins look like. Our ones look like small and authentic. Theirs looks like big Disney pumpkins. Donald Pleasence done the role because he had alimony to pay, and his daughter in England liked the music that Carpenter had done on Assault on Precinct 13.
I think the score for this is probably one of the best scores ever in a horror film.
It's so iconic.
At least even in a film of some sort, it's so iconic and it is so scary. I remember, and this sounds really weird, like when we was kids, I remember I had a record player upstairs in my bedroom. I don't know if do you remember my record player?
I remember you had both Halloween 1 and 2.
I had the Halloween albums, yeah. So I was probably only about 14 or something at the time. I remember all the used lot was out. There was mum was out with all the used kids. She was out somewhere and it was quite dark. And I remember sitting there and I dared myself, right? I went and turned the Halloween soundtrack on upstairs in my bedroom and I turned it on and I walked down the stairs and I turned all the lights off. And I started freaking myself out and I couldn't even get to where the light switch was. And I was looking upstairs thinking, I need to go upstairs and turn that music off because it's really freaking me out. Because it's like, I was like in a horror film. Why I done that to myself, I don't know. That is a bit freaky really, but it's like, when you're young, you do stupid stuff. And it was like, and I remember sitting there and I was thinking, I'll do this before mum comes home. She's going to look and go, what the fuck are you doing, you weirdo? And then I'd have all my little brothers and sisters come in, like you, like going, yeah, weirdo, like whatever. You know?
No, but this is the thing. I think getting scared is bigger rush, if not more so, than laughing at something.
Yeah.
You watch a comedy to laugh.
Yeah.
You watch a horror.
And when you're 14, you are still quite vulnerable.
Now,
even though I was quite sort of immune to a lot of scary stuff, it was really scary, Joel.
But humans, as animals, have adrenaline rushes. They want exhilaration. This is why they jump out of planes with parachutes.
Yeah.
It's the thrill and it's being scared.
Well, animals jump out of planes with parachutes.
Yeah.
What animals have jumped out of planes with parachutes?
Because they like it. But humans are thrill seekers, and one of the thrills is like going through the passages of terror.
Yeah.
Me and Adam went through the passages of terror up in Blackpool.
Did he like it?
He loved it.
Yeah, I knew he would.
We went in there, it was like, running through, and all these, and they've changed it. They've got the nun in there and stuff like that, like walking through, and she goes,
Catherine, and I was there until Catherine, she lost her shoe in there. She had a proper nervous, she's Catholic, right?
Yeah.
She's always had this thing about The Exorcist, never seen it, she's heard about it, so in her head, she's built that film up, and so that's this. Anyway, there's the bit in it, you've got to walk round her bed.
Yeah.
Catherine nearly had a heart attack, because she's sitting in the bed like this. Now, you've got to imagine, from a Catholic's point of view, that she's been brought up with this film. It's like a devil kind of film. It's like proper, like, she's Irish, Catherine proper hates anything to do with The Exorcist, will never watch it, anything. So she has to walk round this bed because there's no way out. She's like, oh my god, Jesus, oh my god. She's like this, she's walking around and it's like about 12 inches, about 2 foot round the bed. You got to walk round and she's sitting there on the bed like that, and then she starts leaping forward. Catherine had a heart attack. She shit herself. As though, like, I suppose if you've got to think, as a young girl, that's your fear. It's like George going into Medusa's temple. It's like George walking into Medusa's temple, but never seen it since when he was a kid. Yeah. And knowing it's built up. Yeah. Because, you know, in Ireland,
that's worse.
Catholic things, I think it was banned in Ireland as well, Exorcist, because it's such a...
But it's weird because Exorcist, not wanting to talk too much about Exorcist, but Exorcist was, they reckon, the biggest advertisement for the Catholic Church ever. I reckon that more people turned to Catholicism
probably
because of Exorcist than anything else. Because they watched that and they were so scared
of going down that road. If
that's right, I want Catholics on my side. It's only Catholics who do exorcism. It's not Church of England or Protestants, anything like that. It's only the Catholics. So they thought, right, I'm going to Catholic churches.
Mental though, mental. As I say, that scared the hell out of her. Yeah, but anyway, with the Rotten Tomatoes with this film, it was critics was 96%, and the audience was 89%.
That's good.
And IMDb was 7.7%, which is still pretty good, really.
Well, it's the highest of all the Halloween films, definitely.
You've got to appreciate it for what it was. It's a low-budget film. It was made in the 70s, and it holds up still today, and it's creepy.
But if you pick films apart, you're going to pick classic films apart.
You can pick anything apart.
Yeah, it's like, right, this is, if you love Halloween and you don't want anyone to spoil it for you, skip forward about 10 seconds. But when you see the wrench on his hand... You know, when he smashes the glass at the beginning when he's getting in the car?
I've never seen it.
Right. So
thanks for ruining that for me, because I've never noticed that.
Well,
I would notice it now. Well, I can't unlisten to it, can I? I'm sitting opposite you.
The very first thing you see Michael Myers do as an adult is jump on top of a car. When Michael Myers smashes the glass on the side, he's got a wrench. He's got a spanner on his hand.
I'm sorry for everyone else that's sort of had that ruined for him, just like I have.
And he smashed it. Well, how else is he going to smash the glass? It was low budget.
Well...
Is Ben Tramer in other films?
He was mentioned in this film as though.
I think you see him in part 2. Yeah, I think he comes in part 2.
Yeah, because she's one that Laurie fancies. It's like, oh my god, like you love Ben Tremer kind of thing. It's like, you don't see him, like you don't see that Annie's boyfriend either, Paul.
You know something else, which I've watched this film. I've seen it. I love Halloween. I've watched it.
Do you reckon you watch it this Halloween?
Well, I watched it yesterday. So
did you?
Not,
oh, okay. So you watch it at least once a year, then? Would you say?
Yeah, I'd say I've watched this film 30 times. It was only last night watching it that there was a line in it. I thought that's a bit odd. Is when PJ Souls, who plays
Linda.
So Linda pulls up at the house, Annie's house, with Bob in the car, and she goes, right. So Annie's going to put Lindsay to bed, and then we can sneak off and do our business, and he goes, so I'll take my clothes off, you take your clothes off, and then we take Lindsay's clothes off.
Yeah.
And she goes, totally. I thought, wait, Lindsay's the little girl.
Yeah.
That's odd. I think that was a mistake.
Yeah,
I think they were supposed to say Annie. I think they were supposed to go, and then we take Annie's clothes off because she's a consenting adult.
Yeah,
and
I don't think they meant a little girl.
And I thought, no, he didn't mean it. But it's a goof, which I've only noticed last night. I thought,
I've never noticed that.
He said the wrong girl's name. Why would you want to take off the little girl's clothes?
Does he know who Lindsay is? Does he know who Lindsay is?
Lindsay's being put to
or
bed.
Is it just a girl?
She's babysitting Lindsay. When she puts Lindsay to bed, then we can.
She might think that she's some sort of 16-year-old, whatever. Like.
No, but she knows who Lindsay is.
Yeah, but she just says totally.
Which people apparently, especially in America, when they believe in participation, even the first time watching the film, after about halfway through, they start going totally, like calling it out because
they get her to say that all the time.
But no, I love Halloween. It's great.
I absolutely love it. I know there's probably loads of stuff. Listen, there's loads of stuff we've probably forgotten on this, but you know what? There's other podcasts. I'm sure that you will find out all the other information. But we've come up with a lot of stuff here.
But I've got another anecdote for Halloween, which involves one of our previous co-hosts.
Go on.
I remember in Booker Close when you had your conservatory.
Yeah.
George, our brother, who's on the Purple Rain and Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans is so funny on that, isn't
he was sitting in our... Now, he'll deny this, but you know what? He has to come back on the show and tonight.
You know, he listens to us and he sits there and talks to us. He sits there and talks to us like he's sitting there with us.
Yeah. So George was in the conservatory watching Halloween with the lights off.
Right.
He'd set it up. You had your little futon. Wooden futon.
Yeah.
He was sitting on it, and this was at night. I've thought, I know it's going to be funny. I went out the front of the house, went all the way round onto Burdett Road, climbed over the fence, climbed into the garden, and I got these little pebbles, little stones at the back of our garden. Remember we had the big tree?
Yeah.
And I started chucking pebbles at the glass every time. And I was hiding in it. And
I bet he was shitting himself.
No, and I was watching. I thought, he can't see me, but I don't want him to see me. The light's gone on. So,
bless him.
And I thought, what's he doing? I waited a while, and he started watching the film again because I could see him. I could see him watching the film, and I thought he started again. But now he's thought, no, I don't want to watch it with the lights off. I want to watch the lights on. I started doing it again. He turned the film off. He was better than he's got up. And I remember saying to him afterwards, George, I was throwing stones at the window. He went, no, I was burning my toast or something like that. And I thought, nah, he would have finished watching that film.
Yeah, well, he'll be arguing back at you right now at this podcast.
I didn't say that.
He didn't say it like that.
Fucking prick.
Oh.
Well, you have to come back soon and defend yourself.
Yes.
Anyway, that was it.
That's it, I think, really. Anyway, listen, thanks for listening to our podcast. Thank you very much. This is our last of our Halloween month.
Yeah,
and obviously we'd ended on Halloween. I mean, what else could you end on?
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed it.
Enjoy Halloween as well. Enjoy trick-or-treating.
Halloween.
We both like sweets and chocolates. So if you want my address to send me sweets and chocolates, you can contact us on our email, which is
benchamovieclub@gmail.com.
Yeah. And
we're on Instagram as Bencha Movie Club Official.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook as Bencha Movie Club and TikTok. Next week, Charlie, what is your film? Because obviously we're out of the Halloween month now, so we're not into the horror films genre. Right. So what are you going to choose for next week?
I'm going to pick a film, it's in this century. I'm going to pick a film which is one of Lily's favourite films, so she's going to come back and talk about it too. It's called Whiplash.
I've never heard of that.
It's a great film. It is a really good film.
Whiplash.
It's
is
one
it
of
an
Lily's...
old film, a new film?
No, it's a new film. So my choice is Whiplash from 2014, starring Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, Paul Reiser, and Melissa Benoist.
Never heard of any of them.
You have heard of Paul Reiser?
It's Paul Reiser.
He's out of Aliens.
Well,
the scumbag alien, the scumbag in it is going, Ripley, I thought
it's
you
in
would
one
be...
film that I don't really... He's not the main character in it, is
He's
he?
in Beverly Hills Cop as well.
Okay, so what's the film about? Whiplash. Let's say the only Whiplash I know is Madam Whiplash.
Right, well, you'll find out when you watch it.
In Kenny Everett's show.
You'll find out about it when you watch it.
So what's it about? Tell me.
Whiplash is a story about an aspiring drummer who joins this college. This young boy, he goes, I want to be the best drummer in the world. I want to join jazz drummer. And he goes to the hardest school you could go to, and he has this teacher from hell in it.
Is it ain't got like Jack Black or nothing in it? Is it ain't that one? Is it with Jack Black? Is it?
School of Rock. School of Rock.
I don't know.
No,
Oh.
It's not School of Rock. School of Rock, School of Rock. I like School of Rock. It's fine. But no, it's not that. It's not a comedy. It's a drama, but it's very well made.
Mm.
And what's interesting about this film is people watch it and they either agree...
Is it a popular film? I've never heard of it.
It is. It's huge. When you watch it, you just think, make your own opinions.
Okay.
Because people watch this film, they have very different opinions.
Okay.
It's very like, he's an arsehole, and other people go, no, but he had a point, and he's an arsehole. And it's interesting because it tells you what kind of person you are.
Right, okay.
So watch the film.
I will.
Not with your arms crossed.
Yeah, well,
and not
I'm
with your phone in your hand.
It sounds crap.
It's a great film. It's one of my favourite films for the last 10 years.
Well, that don't sell it to me, Charles.
It's one of my favourite films.
Some crap.
It's one of my favourite films from the last 20 years.
Okay.
It's a really good film.
Oh, well, I did like Drive when you sent that to me.
Yeah.
I did like that.
Yeah, it is, honestly, Ben. Keep an open mind. You think,
Right.
and it's a nice story, but it's also anyway.
Okay, all right then. Okay. Well, listen. Thank you very much for listening to us babbling on. Have a lovely Halloween, and we will catch up with you next week. See you later. Bye bye. You knob. Just stop it now.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.